Welcome to another edition of Rants, where I come on and go off about, well, whatever's honking me off today. Well, folks, it is great to be back here with you. Yeah, I took quite a bit of time off. It's that time of year when I like to get all my vacation time in because I'm going to get going hot and heavy with local sports here in the Prescott area. So took a week off, refreshed, recharged, ready to come back and rant. But before we get to anything, we got to have a word from our sponsor, and that is H2O Health and Water Solutions. Does your toilet have rings that always need cleaning? Do you have hard water spots on your shower doors? Calcium buildup on your faucets? Just imagine what all of that is doing to the inside of your washing machine, dishwasher, refrigerator, your hot water heater. What about the pipes inside your body? Buy a filter or be a filter. You can have clean mineral-rich water without the buildup of unwanted toxins in your body and throughout your whole home. Call Vicki Johnston today at H2O Health and Water Solutions at 928-899-7504 or stop in and see her at the Prescott Gateway Mall. So for today, this really isn't going to be a rant, and even though it happened last week, I just couldn't do a show without mentioning the passing of the greatest broadcaster who ever lived, and that, of course, is none other than Vin Scully. Vin left us last week at the age of 94, leaving behind just an incredible broadcasting career, much of which was spent with the Dodgers, both in Brooklyn and also in Los Angeles. A man who is one of my broadcasting idols. I think a lot of people in my business can also say the same thing. A guy who I took a few pages out of his book to help with my broadcasting career. And while I didn't grow up in LA listening to Vin Scully like a lot of his fans did, my exposure to him came when I was living back in New Jersey, and I was in high school and middle school, and NBC Game of the Week, Vin Scully, Joe Garagiola, every Saturday afternoon, boom, there I was in front of the TV. I didn't care what team was playing. I just wanted to hear Vin Scully do the play-by-play, and I was just amazed at the way he called a game right from the get-go. In fact, I think one of the first games I ever saw with Vin Scully, again, it was an NBC Game of the Week, and it was Vin and Joe calling Jack Morris's no-hitter back in 1994 when he was pitching for the Tigers, threw a no-hitter against the White Sox. Great game there. Then, of course, there were all the World Series that Vin Scully broadcast, including the 1998 World Series when he had that memorable call with Kirk Gibson getting the walk-off home run off of Dennis Eckersley to give the Dodgers the win in Game 1 of that series. I mean, the call he had was just so classic, where he says, "In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened." And I highly recommend doing something that I did, I think a day after Vin Scully passed. Go to YouTube, watch the entire at-bat that Kirk Gibson had against Dennis Eckersley. And this was just textbook Vin Scully. I mean, the way he set up that whole at-bat leading up to the home run, the whole build-up to it. It was like he had a premonition of something great was about to happen. He just weaved an incredible story, an incredible build-up around that entire at-bat by Kirk Gibson. Also, my first few years working here at KYCA Radio in Prescott, Arizona, we actually would carry the World Series with Vin Scully doing the play-by-play. And kind of as a testament to Vin Scully's talent, usually what I would do is I would just mute my TV and then turn on the radio so I could just hear Vin Scully do the play-by-play for the games. So what were some of the things that set Vin Scully apart from other play-by-play announcers? I think, first of all, I consider the man a poet. He didn't just call a game. He turned it into a story. It was almost like listening to play-by-play by Vin Scully was like listening to an audio book. The other thing is, Vince Scully really wasn't like a rah-rah kind of guy. He didn't go over the top with his calls, but he could still make any game sound exciting and interesting and intriguing. And for me personally, one of the biggest takeaways with Vince Scully, one of the things that I apply to my own sportscasting career, is just doing your research before each and every game. And I'm not talking about just having a bunch of stats lying in front of you. I mean finding out tidbits, finding out all kinds of information on players, presenting them as real people to the audience, whether it's talking about maybe their academic accomplishments, talking about their hobbies, how they came to become baseball players, or in my case, whatever's the player in whatever sport that they're participating in. And I was just always amazed that it seemed like Vince Scully, like a team could call up a player from AAA, and by the time he got up to his first at bat, Vince Scully already knew that guy's entire personal history, already knew his life story, and he would just spout it out on his broadcast, and that just speaks volumes about Vince Scully's preparation and his professionalism. And best of all, and I heard this from a friend of mine who was actually a trainer for the Dodgers for about 20 years, Vince Scully as a person is just an absolute gentleman, a legit nice guy. And sometimes you don't get that combination of really talented, really famous person and really awesome human being, but Vince Scully was just that. I also find it amazing that, Vince Scully, when you think about how long his career was, he started with the Dodgers when they were still in Brooklyn and stopped broadcasting for them in Los Angeles, about 6 years ago or so. So think about it. Vince Scully was doing play-by-play for sons, fathers, grandfathers, great-grandfathers, so many different generations, and it didn't care what their ages were. Vince Scully appealed to each and every one of them. Again, another testament about just what a great broadcaster he was, and also a pretty humble guy as well. And all you have to do for proof of that is go back to the very last call that Vince Scully made in his career, where he signed off by saying, "I have said enough for a lifetime, and for the last time, I wish you all a pleasant good afternoon." Just no fanfare, no big hubbub or anything. Just a simple close out the broadcast, have a nice day. So Vince Scully, thank you very much for all the memories you gave us. Thank you for being an inspiration to me and countless other sportscasters out there. And also just thank you for being a light in this world, even during the most turbulent and darkest of times. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Rust Rants, folks. Be sure to like, share, follow, and subscribe across all of KYCA's social media. That's Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, Instagram. Be sure to smash the like button. Leave a comment on this video. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Also, check us out on KYCA.info for all the latest in local news and sports. And, of course, tune in. You can also listen to our archives, our morning reports, America Then and Now, our weather reports, everything there for you on KYCA.info. Till next time, I'm John Rust. Have yourself a good one.
I will. And I know I'll miss it. I mean, for sure you're going to miss what you've done all these years. But it's like missing that I wish I was 16 again. That's not going to happen. So I will just take people and the roar of the crowd and the love of the game. That'll be enough to fill my belly for the rest of my life.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
I have said enough for a lifetime. And for the last time, I wish you all a very pleasant good afternoon.
We're going to miss Vin Scully.